What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Forever Stranded Lost Souls. Oh yeah, guys. So last episode, we started hooking up the ability to be able to create our processors automatically. We kind of cleaned it up a bit in the wall here. Yeah, so anyway, this episode, we're going to be looking at trying to get some more applied energistic stuff automatically. I think we're going to be jumping into a little bit of mystical agriculture. Now, we've done some of that in the past here. We have some mystical agriculture stuff happening right here, in fact, with a garden cloche. Growing Yellorium seeds so we can keep our extreme reactor full of Yellorium. And it's doing pretty well. We've also, I was going to say over there, but that's not really mystical agriculture stuff. Oops, went down instead of up. I believe we have emerald seed over here, right? Yeah, and this chest is getting quite full. So we have like some garden cloches kind of spread around, growing various different things. I kind of want to set up like a garden cloche area, and I want to get some mystical agriculture seeds going. So we've seen before, like the Certus quartz. There are Certus quartz seeds that we can grow. These things will produce the Certus quartz essence, which can be used to turn into Certus quartz crystal. Apparently we can use those to make presses if we wanted to as well. But yeah, this will get us unlimited amounts of these things. There's also, I think, Fluix seeds, which you can do kind of the same thing, which will make the Fluix essence, which in turn turns into Fluix crystals. And I think there's probably nether quartz seeds. I haven't looked. Yeah, there definitely is nether quartz essence, which of course turns into nether quartz. So we're going to want to set up garden cloches for all these different things so we can get all of the different applied energistics resources coming in automatically. So yeah, other things that I've done around here though, under our main area, I guess, I've added in some more processors. I've added in some more co-processors. Yeah, so we have 4 separate processors going on, so we can queue 4 separate auto crafting tasks. I have added in more of these interfaces over here and molecular assemblers. I did add in all the acceleration cards into these guys, thanks to our auto processor processing, making all that stuff was quite easy. And currently we only have 8 interfaces here. Eventually, if we replace this cable here with dense cable, and we have the dense going over here getting the full 32 channels, we could have a total of 32 interfaces and 32 molecular assemblers, making a 3x3 block structure, 8 blocks tall. But, you know, for right now, our auto crafting needs are pretty good. We have lots of space available. We don't have a crazy amount of patterns. So what I'm thinking that we're going to do, we should grab all of our garden cloches, put them together into one little area, similar to what we have over here, but I don't think we're going to be messing with this. I think we'll leave this alone, just creating the biofuel like it is. We should make an area specific for garden cloches. All of the resources that we're getting for those, we should go into drawers. We could just add some drawers over here into our storage drawer area. It's already connected to the network using that storage bus, right? So all we'd have to do is just store the resources here, and then we can just make patterns that say, hey, 7 of that nether quartz essence will turn into 12 nether quartz, right? And then the system can auto craft that as we need stuff, and we're never going to run out. So I think that is the plan for today. So probably one of the things that we should look at is making garden cloches. So a garden cloche does require us to have the treated wood planks. It does require to have iron mechanical components, vacuum tubes, and some glass. Now, I don't know. Is it possible to automate this table over here? Our engineer's workbench. This is how we've been making the vacuum tubes and the iron mechanical components. I don't know if I've ever tried to automate this thing before. I don't even know if it's possible. I guess one of the first things we could do, instead of running over there, we can use our wireless thing. Do we have a hopper? Can we hopper into this thing? What are these things? Fast hopper, filtered hopper. I don't know. Have I used these before? Let's just make a regular hopper. Let's just make a plain old vanilla hopper, because I know how this thing works. I'm not sure how those other ones work. So if we put that there, can we put, like, for instance, a copper ingot into the system? Does that go in? It doesn't appear to. Not from this. I really hope this is automatable in some fashion. That doesn't appear to want to go in. I don't know if this is going to work. I'd really hope that this would have been automatable, but it doesn't look like these items want to go into this slot. No, it might be sighted. Maybe you have to put it in directly on top of the vise, right? Maybe? No. Yeah, so the mechanical component here does take 2 iron plates and 1 copper ingot, but if we can't get the items to drop in here, there's no way we can create these, and I don't know if there's a way to automate this. Maybe I'll take a look through the engineer's manual real quick, see if there is some kind of an automation. Maybe you need like another block to interface with this, or maybe we will have to do it through some other method. Yeah, I don't really know. Anyway, I'll take a look at this and see if I can figure it out, and then we'll be right back. All right, guys, so I literally have never tried to automate the engineer's workbench before, and I did not realize that there was an automated workbench multi-block structure. Yes, so it's very, very cheap, really. It's like 5 steel scaffolding, 4 conveyor belts, 2 heavy engineering blocks, 4 light engineering blocks, 2 treated wood slabs, and 1 redstone engineering block. Like, it's really not that bad. I haven't tried forming this thing yet. I don't know if I did it right. Hopefully I did. Which block? Find the block to click to make this thing form the multi-block structure. Which block is it? It's not, guys, it's not working. Why is it not working? Oh boy. Okay, so if we look through the engineer's manual, ooh, why does that look, oh, is that what it looks like when it's formed? Maybe. Play. Okay, so we got the 4 light engineering blocks back here. We have the 5 steel scaffolding. We have the 1 redstone. We have the 2 heavy. And we have the conveyor belts, and then the 2 slabs right here. So this thing should be forming a multi-block structure, but I am not sure why. Do I have to shift right click on it? Oh my goodness, this is one of those things about, that looks right. That's one of those things about immersive engineering that is kind of a pain. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so I guess you have to click this block? I guess, I don't know. Looks like we got it going though. So how does this thing work? We right click on it, and we have an inventory. I guess this is where we put the engineer's blueprint. Okay, so we should have an input side, input thing. Okay, so blue is the input. There's our power. Redstone to turn it on and off. Where is the output? Did I see the output? I see blue, blue, and red. Oh, does it just like shoot the items off the end here when it's done? That's probably what it does. Okay, so let's try that. Do we have any iron plates? No. Let's make some iron plates real quick. And then we'll need like 4 copper. And we are also going to need to get ourselves the engineer's blueprint over here to see if this thing does in fact work. So let's grab this guy. All right, we'll use our compactor. We want to turn that into iron plates. Oh boy. I was going to do all of those, but ain't nobody got time to wait for all 8 of those to happen. So let's just put it over here real quick. Okay, so if we put this in here. Oh, you know what? I guess I should have grabbed our hopper so we can pipe items into that thing. And also, we are going to need to get ourselves a way to power that because that does require power as well. Do we have a point? We do. Perfect. Well, I guess now that we've taken all that time, we should be able to get all these things. Okay, good. So now let's see how this thing works because, again, I have never used this thing before. So we will power this thing right here. Do one of those. Hoppers on the hotbars, like where is it? There's this thing. So we'll put in 8 of those and 4 of these things. So how does this thing work? It's got a correct recipe in there. Do I have to select one of these things? Crafting components. It has... why is that not working? Okay, well, I thought that this was going to be a simple process. Let's take a look back at the engineer's manual. The first major success is small-scale engineering. The machine is able to follow a set of instructions described by a blueprint to assemble the item detailed by it. Upon assembling, the multi-block blueprint can be placed in a drawing table. After selecting the item that should be created, it will begin to... Oh, I have to select the item. Okay, so this thing will only automatically create 1 item. Is that what we're seeing here? The animation is really cool. I like that. Yeah, I've never used this thing before. I would have assumed that since it had the correct recipe for an item, it would have just started making the item that it has a correct recipe for. I did not realize that we were going to have to create an automatic workbench for each specific item. Dang. Okay, well, I mean, they're not super expensive. We can do that. I guess I'll just go ahead and make some more of these things. Yeah, we're going to want one specifically for these tubes and for these. And then most likely we'll want one for the heavy ones and then these chips later. But definitely these two. So I will go ahead and make another one of these things and then we'll be right back. All right, guys, so I upgraded our compactor here to a Signalum version. I was going to upgrade it to the next tier, the Enderium or Resonant version upgrade. Unfortunately, we don't have any more Enderium. Nope. So we can make this stuff, and that is a possibility, but there is also Enderium Essence. So this is probably going to be another thing we're going to look at making. So when we get the Enderium seeds set up, we'll start upgrading all of our machines, making sure they're all Resonant versions of it. But yeah, we were able to add in 2 more auxiliary reception coils, and then now we are making these plates a lot faster. So anyway, we have 2 of these automatic workbenches set up over here. I got interfaces on the back to provide the recipes to these machines. We have interfaces in the front here to accept the recipes, or I guess the completed product the conveyor belt should put into the interface, which will complete the Autocraft. I have this one set on show or hide on interface terminal with the circle and the X through it, or I guess the cross through it. So we do not see this on our interface terminal. This one over here still needs to be set. Okay, so that way we don't see interface trying to do a recipe for something else. These just don't appear in our interface terminal where we can put our recipes in. So things that I noticed about this thing, it does show here on the side when you have a different thing selected, like what that item is. I thought that was kind of neat. Never really seen that before. So this one's going to be doing our iron components. I don't even remember what these things are called. Light engineering block. What are these things called? Iron mechanical component. Okay, so yeah, we need to make recipes for these things. It says 2 of those iron plates plus a copper is going to equal 1 of those. So first things first, I need to grab this hopper once again. Actually, I guess we could just put it in manually. So let's put in 1 copper and we'll put in 2 iron plates. We will have that do its thing. Again, I like that animations, like doing this drilling stuff. A lot more complicated than you think it would be after using just the engineer's workbench. Okay, so iron mechanical component. Did that just give us 2? Is that what that does? It says just 1. Now I'm confused. Did we get 2 out of that, or was it just 1? I already had 1 in the system. I want to double check so we are not making way too many of these things later on. So iron mechanical component, we have 2 of those in our inventory here. Let's just make sure that just makes 1. I'm not sure if it's doubling or not. Iron mechanical, no, it just makes 1 at a time. Okay, so we can make a recipe for this guy over here using our pattern terminal. So things that we want this to do is we want it to do a processing pattern. We want to say 2 of these iron plates plus a copper ingot is going to equal 1 of these items, right? Very, very simple. So how do those machines look over here on this thing? It just says light engineering block. Okay, so that doesn't really tell us about it. So it could be, if we put it into 1, it could be the wrong one. So let's just put it in manually. Okay, so we have that there. Kind of curious if we come over here though and take a look one more time. Okay, it's this one. Got it. Anyway, so now that we have that done, we should be able to tell the system, hey, create iron mechanical components. Let's make, I don't know, 10. Okay, so we'll do 10 of those and things should just start happening automatically. We can see there's items in here. So this is really good. Yes. I like this a lot. It's unfortunate this thing goes so slow. Like, if you did it through the manual workbench, you can just shift-click the items in and shift-click them all out. But this introduces like a 5-second delay for each different item being made. Yeah, it's a little too bad. So I'm going to do the same thing over here for our other pieces that we need. Yeah, I guess we should look up the garden cloche one more time. And this is a vacuum tube. So this requires us to do these copper wires. Now we could set up a thing in Applied Energistics where it just makes the copper plates and crafts it with the shears and does all this, or we could hook up a metal press and automate this as well, which might not be a bad idea. I don't think we've made a metal press yet. I think everything that we've done so far with the immersive engineering wires has been done using shears and by hand. So let's take a look at that. If we want the immersive press, so we're gonna want a press mold wire. So to make one of those, we need, I guess, 5 steel plates, an engineered wire cutter, and then we need the metal press mold. So we don't have a blueprint for that. How are we doing on steel? We are not doing very good on steel. Now, I think steel is another thing that we can get seeds from. Steel seed. Yes, let's take a look at these. These might be a thing that I want to make right now, so I don't have to worry about making steel in the future. So that makes immersive engineering steel, and the cost in that is a tier 5. You know what? I think we should go ahead and make these steel seeds immediately. That way we can start getting that steel essence, and I don't have to worry about crafting steel at all. Okay, so lot of patterns here that are going to need to be made if we're going to auto craft all this stuff going forward. For right now, I'm just going to click through all these and make it by hand. Not the most interesting thing. So let me go ahead and do this real quick, and we'll be right back. All right, so we've got some stuff going on here, guys. I made an engineer's blueprint for the metal press mold. This actually required another steel plate as well, so I had to wait for extra of our steel to grow. But there we go. So we can put that in here. We put 5 of these plus our engineer's wire cutters, and then we can choose which one of these molds we want, and we wanted the wire one. Okay, so now we have the wire one. We can go hook up a brand new machine. Yeah, and I think we're going to stick this over here next to the automated workbench that needs it. Yeah. So let's put down 2 steel scaffolding, like so. And then we're going to put down the redstone, I believe, goes here, followed by a piston that needs to be facing down with the heavy engineering block on top of it. Then we need 2 conveyor belts. We'll face one towards that and one like so. All right, so this one is going to be receiving items from this automated engineer's workbench plus our metal press here. I think we have to turn this, though. I'm not sure that matters. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now we have a metal press, which is pushing items over this way, and this will, of course, need its own interface here, so we can set a recipe and tell it how to craft things. Okay, so we are going to need some more ME glass cable. And do one of those numbers. Now I need to get down here as well. So, off this P2P, we have 32 channels available. We're only using 2 of them right here, so we can snag another one of those channels and just connect this guy right like so. So this interface is now available to push items onto this conveyor belt. We also need to give this thing power, and man, this is going to start getting messy. It'd be better to have a flux point on each one of these things instead of having to run these cables around, but yeah, running these cables around is what we are about to do. You know what? Could we just go like this instead? Ooh, that's a little laggy. Yeah, I think that works well like that. Instead of having to go to the top, I think we can do like this. And we'll just break all these like so. I think that might be a little bit nicer looking anyway. Okay, so we have that done. Now this metal press mold similar to these, or I'm sorry, this metal press similar to the automated engineer's workbench can only do 1 item unless there's some manual intervention. This thing is going to be doing the copper wires only. So let's throw a copper ingot on there. Just 1 like so, that goes right on the bench. It gets stamped, and then we get the copper stuff. Now I don't know, do we get 2 or just 1? We get 2 of those. Okay, so we can say 1 copper ingot is going to equal 2 of those, and then that'll be a pretty nice thing. Let's do this guy right here. So 1 copper ingot is going to equal 2 of these. Make the thing. What does it show over here? Does it show conveyor belt, or does it show... No, it does say metal press. Okay, that's nice. We can just stick it right there on our interface terminal. And then we don't have to come over here to manually put it in here, which is nice. Okay, so now that we have that available... if we go back to the garden cloche and look at the vacuum tubes, we can make a recipe for this. Do we have vacuum tubes? We do have these available here, so we can make a pattern for that. Now, it was 2 copper wires, a glass, and a redstone. Glass and redstone. Okay, So now we should be able to make ourselves a pattern to make the vacuum tubes automatically, which is good. So 2 copper wires, glass, redstone is going to equal 3 of these. Let's get rid of this copper ingot and we will apply that. So now if we come over here and we put this guy right like that, we should be able to auto craft these vacuum tubes, no problem at all. So let's see if we can craft up, oh, I don't know, like 30 of them just to test this thing out. So vacuum tubes, let's do 30 next. So it's going to require 10 copper, 10 glass. We're going to make 20 of these copper wires and 10 more redstone to make 30 of these things. Let's start this process up and make sure things are happening. So this isn't going because there's no copper wires in the system yet, but as soon as that enters, this should start going. Yeah, there we go. So it looks like things are going to be working correctly, which is awesome. Great. So we can check the progress on this in here. So we have done quite a few of these things. Yeah, it says it's going to take about 30 seconds for everything else to finish up. Yeah, this is great. I like this automated process here. We don't have to think about this anymore. So now that we have the ability to create these mechanical components and we have the ability to create the vacuum tubes, we should be able to auto craft garden cloches, provided that we have the treated woods and the glass in the system. The other, okay, you, stop it. Stop making those sounds. That's gonna be awesome. So now that we have that, we should be able to do what I want to do, which is auto craft this, but we don't have the treated wood. Okay, so we are gonna have to tell the system how to do creosote. Now, I don't remember, does this mod pack have the ability for us to do liquid storage? Can we put this thing right here, our creosote, on a storage bus? I don't remember. Let's take a look. Fluid storage. It is extra cells, and we do have that. Okay, so we can put a ME fluid storage bus on this guy to have fluid available for our applied energistic system. But there's other stuff here. Extra. Let's just search for cells. Okay. So the other thing that we're going to need, besides that fluid storage bus, which will read from that tank, we're going to need the fluid assembler. So a fluid assembler is a molecular assembler plus a ME fluid storage component that makes this thing. And then this guy requires its own patterns in there in order to craft from fluids. So, molecular assembler, we already have those in the system. I crafted up some extra ones. So we need a fluid storage cell, which we just need a logic processor. Let's craft one of those. And then we're going to need the fluid storage bus. So this is fluid assembler. Let's just craft this real quick. That should be done. This. Okay, so now we need a fluid storage bus. So what does that cost? That is 2 pistons and interface. We have interface on Autocraft. Let's tell the system. Well, I was going to tell the system to make that, but we are out of some stuff here. Do we have any more fluics that turn into dust? We do. And then I made some constantan. I thought I did. Dang it. Okay, so what does it cost for constantan? I think that's the interface, right? So constantan is made with nickel and copper. Okay, well, I guess we are going to wait for constantan to be made. I will probably end up making constantan seeds. There are constantan seeds, right? Constantan seeds, there are. So constantan essence, 8 of those turns into 4. Okay, so that's probably going to be yet another thing that we will craft up. This isn't actually taking so long. I thought this was going to take a lot longer for this stuff. Now, how much? Oh, we needed to get the ground up fluix. Let's get that going real quick too. I think it said we need like 2 of those. This should be done. Let's do it. So we wanted to make ourselves an interface. We'll put this stuff in the system. Oh, we already have an interface. We already have one. Let's not make another one then. Okay, so we were trying to make ourselves this guy, the fluid assembler. No, we made that. We were trying to make the fluid storage bus. Okay, so this guy. So we have the interface, we have the lapis, we need 2 pistons. One of those needs to be a sticky one. So do we have slime available? We do. Okay, so we have everything needed. So there's this. Cool. All right, so we have that guy. So this needs to be attached to this somehow. Now, this cable right here, I was looking at this a little bit ago. This already has 8 channels being used. So we might once again move our ME drives to their own separate thing. They don't have to be attached to this cable. So let me do that. I'll get the channels rearranged here. Hopefully, once we get all the applied energistic stuff going, we have all of the Fluix stuff being grown. We'll be able to expand out a lot easier and then make everything simpler. But for right now, yeah, it's a little bit of shuffling things around, making sure we have enough channels. But anyway, let me get to it and we'll be right back. All right, guys, so I got some stuff rearranged here. We have our fluid storage bus on the quantum tank. Now we need to start setting up some auto crafting patterns here so we can do some other things. So one of the first things we need to do is tell the system how to make planks. So we have some logs in the system here. I guess they're wood logs. So we need to tell the system how to craft that into planks, right? So there's this. I know, very complicated stuff here. We need to draw that out, and then we also need to tell the system that 8 planks plus a bucket of creosote will equal, that's resin, that's not what we want, will equal the treated wood. So let's just put this down here. Empty my bucket real quick. I'll grab a bucket of this creosote. Okay, so we come in here and we do this, and now you can see there's the treated wood. Now, in order for this to work, though, that pattern, like I said before, has to go into this guy, the fluid assembler. If you put it anywhere else, it won't know what to do with it. It has to go in the special one. So now we can tell the system how to create treated wood. So if we look here, let me put this creosote back. This thing has 652 buckets, right? So if we tell the system to create treated wood, and I don't know, let's make like 100, it'll start using this fluid here as it crafts that stuff, right? So yeah, we can now use fluid for our auto crafting needs, which is really good. Let me grab some of this cobblestone and fix the floor over here. I forgot to do that. There we go. Now it doesn't look so bad over here. So yeah, we use a little bit of that creosote. We now have treated wood, right? So anytime we need to make more treated wood, we can now do that. So this means at this point, we can do a garden cloche recipe and just tell the system that it can make all of these things. Now, the only other thing we don't have on AutoCraft is glass. Yeah, these machines over here, we are going to have to hook up at some point in order to get them automated. Our compactor here, this thing can make plates, but it can also make gears. So I'm not sure how we're going to do this. We made that metal press earlier, and we had that set up specifically for wires. Metal presses can also make gears. They can also make plates. Is it better to use a thermal expansion single block machine or the immersive engineering multi-block machines to do it? I think the thermal expansion one goes faster and it takes up less space, so we'll probably end up making a bunch of those. Well, at least one more for the plates, and then anything else that we can't do with these we'll probably end up doing through immersive engineering, I think. But yeah, we still got more auto crafting things to do at this point. How are we doing on glass though? We have 57 in the system. Let's find a home for our garden cloche recipe. I guess we'll just put it right there. So garden cloche, we can now craft if I want like 20 of those. Well, provided we have the glass, which we don't. If we had the glass, we could make 20 more of those. I got a feeling we're going to be making quite a few garden cloches going forward, unless I can figure out a better way to make the essence, not with the garden cloches. I know there's the phytogenic insulator from thermal expansion that can also do the seeds, but like after it grows once, it puts a seed in the output, and you have to like put that back in the input, I think. Yeah, anyway, not so sure I want to mess with that particular thing. So garden cloche, anyway, let's tell it to make 20. We have everything available. It has to craft some of these iron mechanical components, but oh my goodness, garden cloche, we just made 13 of those, and then we're going to be getting the rest of those made as soon as the rest of those components are completed. Oh my goodness, this is so good, guys. We got some pretty decent auto crafting going on around here. I like this. Yeah, it's this one over here that's working. I just wish these things were a little bit faster. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode of Forever Stranded Lost Souls. I was kind of hoping we'd be able to get these garden cloches hooked up and get things going today, but all the other stuff that we did just took too much time. Anyway, next episode, we should be hooking up our garden cloches, getting all these different seeds made, hooking up a room specifically for growing crops, finding the storage for those crops, making the patterns to turn the essence into the materials that are useful, etc. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to leave a like on the episode if you liked it, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.